Have you ever felt lost? Like the world was moving forward, but you were stuck in the same place? This is the story of Ethan Walker, a man who thought he had lost everything. Until one night, in the silence of the mountains, he discovered a truth that changed not only his life, but could change yours too. Ethan wasn't a bad man. He worked hard, paid his bills, and tried his best to be a good husband and father. But life has a way of breaking even the strongest. At 42 years old, Ethan lost his job. 2 weeks later, his wife told him she was leaving. She had grown tired of the endless financial struggles, tired of watching Ethan's hope fade away like smoke from a dying fire. Ethan's 2 kids stayed with their mother. And just like that, his home, his family, and his sense of worth disappeared. He moved into a small one-room apartment, working odd jobs just to survive. Nights felt endless. Days felt meaningless. And slowly, a dangerous thought crept into his mind. Maybe I don't matter anymore. One evening, unable to bear the noise of his own thoughts, Ethan packed a small bag and drove out to the mountains. He told himself he just wanted peace, a place where the city lights couldn't blind him and the voices of disappointment couldn't reach him. It was late when he arrived. The sky was heavy with stars, the kind of sky you never see in the city. He parked his car, grabbed his bag, and started walking up the old hiking trail. At first, he felt nothing, just emptiness. But as the path grew steeper, something strange happened. He felt lighter, as if every step away from the world was a step away from his pain. By midnight, he reached a small wooden cabin, an old shelter for hikers. It looked abandoned, but the door creaked open. Inside, it was dark, cold, and empty. Ethan sat down on the wooden floor, pulled his jacket tight, and stared at the shadows. That's when he noticed it, a small lantern hanging on a rusty nail in the corner. When Ethan lit the lantern, the cabin glowed with a soft, golden light. And then he heard footsteps. Startled, he turned. An old man stood in the doorway, white beard, weathered face, eyes that carried both storms and peace. "You found my lantern," the old man said with a smile. Ethan stammered, I'm sorry. I thought this place was empty." The man walked in slowly, sat across from Ethan, and placed a wooden walking stick beside him. "This cabin has been here for years. Lost people find it when they need to." Something about the way he spoke sent chills through Ethan. "Lost people?" Ethan asked. The old man nodded. "You're lost, aren't you?" Ethan wanted to deny it, but his voice cracked as he whispered, "Yes." The old man poured some tea from a flask he carried and handed it to Ethan. Then, with calm eyes, he began to speak. "Let me tell you a story," the man said. "There was once a young monk who lived in a monastery high in the Himalayas. His dream was to achieve enlightenment, to feel God's presence in every heartbeat. He prayed all day. He fasted. He meditated until his body ached. But nothing happened. One day, in frustration, he left the monastery and went into the forest. He sat by a river, ready to give up. As he sat there, a small bird landed on a branch nearby. It sang a song so simple, so pure, that the monk wept. In that moment, he realized something. God was never hiding. The light was never missing. He was simply looking in the wrong places. The old man leaned closer. "The lantern you lit just now, it is not powerful. It's small, fragile. But in the darkness, even the smallest light can guide you. You, Ethan, are that lantern. Your life may feel broken. Your hope may feel dim. But to someone, someday, your light will be the guide that saves them. You just don't see it yet." Ethan sat in silence. His hands trembled around the cup of tea. The old man's words cut deeper than any lecture, any sermon he had ever heard. For the first time in months, Ethan felt seen, but doubt rose in him. "My life is a mess," he whispered. "I've lost everything that mattered." The old man shook his head. "You haven't lost everything. You still have breath in your lungs. You still have time. The question is, will you use your pain to curse the darkness, or to light the lantern for someone else?" And then, without another word, the old man stood up, picked up his walking stick, and stepped into the night. Ethan blinked. The man was gone. No footsteps, no shadow, just a lantern glowing softly on the wall. The next morning, Ethan walked back down the mountain, but something inside him had shifted. He didn't suddenly become rich. His family didn't magically return, but he carried the old man's words like fire in his chest. You are the lantern. Over the next weeks, Ethan began to change. He volunteered at a local shelter, serving meals to the homeless. He mentored young men at a community center, sharing his story of failure and struggle. He listened, really listened, to people who felt invisible, just like he once did. And every time he helped someone, every time he offered hope, he felt the lantern inside him grow brighter. Months turned into years. Ethan became known in his community not as the man who lost everything, but as the man who helped others find their way. One evening, after speaking at a local event about overcoming hardship, Ethan returned home. He lit a small lantern he kept on his desk, a reminder of that night in the mountains. And as the light filled the room, he realized the truth. We are all lanterns. Our pain, our struggles, our failures, they don't define us. They prepare us. Because in someone else's darkness, your story, your survival, your courage might be the only light they see. So if you feel lost today, if you feel broken, invisible, or unworthy, remember this. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. And even the smallest flame can drive away the deepest darkness. Be the lantern, not just for yourself, but for the world that needs your light.